Nagbabalik po ang DepEd Hour para sa Tele-Turuan. Itatampok natin ngayong gabi ang dalawang science instructional videos at dalawang math videos. Ito ay alalay ng tanggapang pansangay sa iba't ibang alternative delivery modes na ginagawa ngayon sa mga pampublikong paaralan.
Tumutok lamang po sa pakikinig at panonood upang matuto sa ating Tele-Turuan.
A blessed day, our dear televiewers and subscribers of DepEd Hour Tele-Turuan. I am Sir Randolph N. Cruz, a science teacher of Padre Gregorio Crisostomo Integrated School. And today, we will discuss about the quantum mechanical model of an atom. And for this, let me present to you our today's objectives. And so at the end of the lesson, you are expected to be able to, first, understand the development of atomic models. Second, identify the energy levels, sublevels, and atomic orbitals in an atom. And third, write the electron configuration of the elements. Before we start, let us play three meanings in one. The direction is, tell what word is being described by the three meanings given on each number. First, means indivisible, made up of three particles, and basic unit of matter. You're right! The answer is atom. Second, discovered by Ernest Rutherford, has a positive charge and found in nucleus of an atom. Correct! The answer is proton. For number 3, it was discovered by James Chadwick, has no charge, and with the same mass of proton. Exactly! The correct answer is neutron. Number 4, it is found outside the nucleus of an atom. It is a negatively charged particle and discovered by J.J. Thomson. Very good! The correct answer is electron. And now, let us proceed to our lesson proper. Bohr's atomic model describes that atom, like a solar system, where he considered electrons as particles moving around the nucleus in specific circular paths called orbits, like the planets following its orbits around the Sun. These are found at fixed distances from the nucleus. Much later, scientists discovered that it is impossible to determine the exact location of electrons in an atom. So, Bohr's idea that electrons are found in definite orbits around the nucleus was rejected. Three physicists led the development of a better model of the atom. These were Louis de Broglie, Erwin Schrödinger, and Werner Heisenberg. De Broglie proposed that the electron, which thought of as a particle, could also be thought as a wave. Schrödinger used this idea of de Broglie that electrons are wave particles to develop a mathematical equation to describe the probable location of an electron around the nucleus. On the other hand, Heisenberg discovered that for every small particle like the electron, its location cannot be exactly known. This is called uncertainty principle. De Broglie, Schrödinger, and Heisenberg arrived with the idea that the quantum mechanical model of the atom describes the probable location of electrons within the atom using atomic orbitals. And now let's talk about energy levels. Now, what are energy levels? These are called electron shells. These are fixed distances from the nucleus of an atom where electrons may be found. Energy levels are like a little steps of a staircase. You can stand on one step or another, but not in between the steps. The same goes for electrons. They can occupy one energy level or another, but not the space between energy levels. The maximum number of electrons each energy level can hold is shown on the table here. When the energy level is K or 1, the maximum number of electrons is 2. If it's L or 2, the maximum number is 8. If it's M or 3, it's equal to 18. If N or 4, 32. O or 5, 32. P or 6, 18. Q or 7, 8. Now let's discuss sublevels or subshells. The energy levels of the electrons of an atom are further divided into sublevels or subshells. The sublevels are denoted by lower cases s, p, d, and f. S stands for sharp, P means principal, D denotes diffuse, and F is for fundamental. The sublevels of particular energy levels are given in the table here. Energy level 1 has the sublevel of 1s, energy level 2 has the sublevels of 2s, 2p. For 3, 3s, 3p, 3d. If the energy level is 4, the sublevels are 4s, 4p, 4d, and 4f. If it's 5, 5s, 5p, 5d, and 5f. If it's 6, 6s, 6p, 6d. If it's 7, the sublevels are 7s and 7p. Now, what is atomic orbital? Atomic orbital is the region around the nucleus where the electron is most likely to be found. It serves as the house of the electron. If the energy level is s, the name of its orbital is s orbital, and the number of its orbital is equal to 1. If the energy level is p, the name of its orbital is p orbitals, and the number of orbitals is equal to 3. And if the energy level is d, the name of its orbital is d orbitals, with the number of orbital equal to 5. And if it's f, it's called f orbitals, with the number of 7 orbitals. Orbital diagram. Each orbital diagram can be represented by a box as shown here. Now let's deal on the shape of orbitals. As you can see, s orbital here is spherical in shape. P orbitals are dumbbell in shape. D orbitals are double dumbbell in shape. And F orbitals are complicated in its shape. And there you have it. Please stay tuned for more discussion on our lesson about quantum mechanical model of an atom. We will be right back. Welcome back to Tele-Turuan. And now, let us continue our discussion about the quantum mechanical model of an atom. Now, what is electron configuration? Electron configuration is a way of distributing the electrons of the atom among the orbitals of the atom. The mnemonic device given in the figure here can be used as your guide in showing the electron configuration of an atom. In using this mnemonic device, the direction of the arrow is followed. The sublevels are filled with electrons based on increasing energies of the sublevels. Note that in filling the sublevels, 4s is filled first before going to 3d. This means that 4s is filled first before going to 3d. This also means that 4s has a slightly lower energy than 3d. In the electron configuration of 1s2, 1 refers to the main energy level occupied by the electron. S denotes the kind of orbital, and the superscript 2 for the number of electrons in the orbital. The main energy level also tells us the number of sublevels, and the name of the sublevel is also the same with the number of the orbital. There are 3 rules that can be applied in deriving the electron configuration. These are Aufbau's principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hans' rule of multiplicity. Aufbau's principle is also known as the building up principle, which states that electrons occupy orbitals in order of increasing energy. It follows this mnemonic device in filling up the orbital. Say for example, write the electron configuration of lithium and oxygen. The electron configuration of lithium is written as 1s2, 2s1. Notice that 1s is filled first before going to 2s. This means that 1s has lower energy than 2s. And for number 2, oxygen. The electron configuration of oxygen is written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Observe that 2s is filled first before going to 2p. This means that 2s has lower energy than 2p. Let's proceed to Pauli's exclusion principle. It states that electrons occupying the same orbital must have opposite spin. For example, consider the orbital diagram of lithium. The orbital diagram should look like this and not this one. Consider the orbital diagram of oxygen. The orbital diagram should look like this. Notice that all electrons have opposite spin in each orbital. Hand's rule of multiplicity. This rule says that when electrons enter a sublevel with more than one orbital, they will spread out to the available orbitals with the same spin before pairing. Let's consider the orbital diagram of nitrogen. The orbital diagram of nitrogen looks like this. Notice that in 2p electrons spread out to the available orbitals with the same spin. Now let me test your understanding on our lesson. Write the electron configuration of the elements and show the orbital diagram using the Hans rule and Pauli's principle. You did a great job. Thank you for your active participation. I hope that you learned a lot. This has been Randolph and Cruz of Padre Gregorio Crisostomo Integrated School. Till our next episode of DepEd Hour Tele-Turuan. Good day and God bless.